Good morning, Mama. I hope you had a good weekend. I hope you had a good night. How are you feeling today? I think today is your doctor's appointment. If I remember correctly, today's your doctor's appointment. So I hope that goes good. Hope we get good news. It is Monday. Got to go back to work, whether we want to or not. Got to go back to work. The weather did get cold. I think it was showing 40 degrees out there. It's cold. For us Texans, it's cold anyway. You know what I mean. But we didn't get down to freezing, which is good. I still brought my plants in, but I did not cover my garlic. So I think it'll be okay. I think everything will be okay. Like I said, I think the coldest we got was like 36, something like that. Didn't see a frost on anything. So I think I'm good. I think everything is fine. And it's supposed to be nice this week. I think the rain is done for now. Try to get this. See, looking into my laundry room there. That's not that clean. Although I guess all you can see right there is cabinet doors and my freezer. But I think it's supposed to be warm. Actually, I when I was looking at the forecast this morning, I think we have one day that's supposed to be like 83, 84 degrees this week. So it's going to be nice. And I think this is it. I would think that this was the last of our cold fronts. I'll still kind of watch it a little bit just because we're right at that time of year that we get those weird freezes. But I think that's what this was. We always seem to have that one right around Easter time. So anyway, hopefully that's it. So the weather's getting nice. I was thinking this morning, I was like, man, every year at this time of year, I think I want to take the top off my Jeep and drive around without the top. And we still have never, we bought that Jeep brand new in 2018. And we have never driven it with the top off. And I want to. We took the top off. We got us a soft top for it. I don't know, that's been probably 3 years ago, I think. And we put the top on it one time. And that was our trip to Florida. And my dream has always been, I want to drive that highway, excuse me, that road, bridge, highway, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know what the number is on it. But it goes from Miami all the way down to Key West. Drives down. You can drive down all to all the Keys. And I absolutely love that drive. I like the smell in the air, the salty air. I love it. Absolutely love it. And so we put the soft top on the Jeep, and that was our intent, was to put the top down and drive that way. And when we went, it rained the whole way there. And so we had to leave the top up. And we stayed, I think we were there for 3 or 4 days, something like that. And I remember taking a video of us in the hotel room, and I think that was the night that we got there. And I mean, it was a downpour. I mean, it was coming down. And we're like, oh man, we just missed it, to be able to drive around down there with the top off. And we did have a couple of nice days while we were there, but we never left Key West. I think we stayed in, where was that? Is there one that's called Marathon? I don't remember. Anyway, we stayed in one of the Keys kind of in the middle, I think, somewhere right in there. And we drove down to Key West a couple of times, and the weather was fairly nice. So we decided, well, we'll just pull the top down, on our way back home and drive it up all the way, to Miami. And it was pouring again. Well, we didn't know that we were there during a tropical storm. We had no idea. So the tropical storm was coming in, and I don't remember what the name of it was, but and it was apparently a good one. It was a pretty rough one. And so on our way back was when the tropical storm was coming in. And that, let me tell you, that was one of the scariest drives. That was scary. We pulled over. We had gotten off of that road, and we're on. We were on the mainland. And we're driving just home on the highways and stuff. And we had to. Well, we tried to pull over 2 or 3 times, like under overpasses and stuff. But everybody had done that because the wind was so bad and the rain was coming down so hard. I mean, you could barely see the front of your hood, much less the car in front of you. And so everybody was going super slow, just trying to get out of anything. And I mean, in a Jeep, just regular wind can just bat you around. You look like a drunk driver, all the time when the wind's blowing. Anyway, oh my gosh, I was so scared. We did finally pull over, and I think we found a gas station or something somewhere that we could just at least get off the road, get off the highway. Anyway, that was interesting. That was also the same trip that my Jeep started acting up. And while we were in, I'm pretty sure it was in Miami before we even went down to the Keys, my, what was it? I don't remember if it was the engine light that came on first, but we just had a couple of odd lights that just came on. But we'd come through a bunch of rain and stuff, and we've had it before where, dirt or something had gotten up on the sensors and had given us a weird error. And so we kind of figured that's what it was, And so we took it we went to the shop there in Miami, and they didn't see anything wrong. They ran a diagnostic on it and everything, didn't see anything wrong, and said we should be okay, to get back home and have it checked out thoroughly, but they didn't see anything. And so we got on the road and started coming back home. Well, we got pretty close to home, and just every now and then another light would come on, and we're thinking, okay, something's up. But because there were just odd lights that were coming on and off, we really just thought that, we had gotten into so much rain. We just really figured that the sensors were just really messed up. And we weren't too far from home. I want to say we were 50 miles or so from home. And all of the lights on my dash just came on. And we got a warning that said something about the battery usage, and that it was going to start shutting off programs or things that didn't, that weren't important. And we're like, okay, something's really weird. But everything seemed to be driving okay. Well, then all of a sudden it just started jerking real hard. And we're like, okay, something's really wrong. So we're just trying to find some place that we can just, pull off the road, a decent gas station where we can call somebody, the AAA or whatever. And all of a sudden we're on the interstate, doing 75 miles an hour, and I lost everything. Everything shut down. I had no brakes. I had no power. I had nothing. And so we were right at an exit. So we took the exit, and that at the time, all we knew was that we'd lost power. So we're coming down this thing and, slowing down, but we're still doing, 50 miles an hour, coming off this ramp. And that was when I realized I had no brakes. We had absolutely nothing coming up, and I had a fairly decent curve coming up and everything. Anyway, that was scary. So we used our emergency brake and got it to at least stop us. And we got over, on the side of the road, had to call a tow truck and stuff. And I really couldn't even tell you what was wrong. It ended up being in the shop for, I think it was like 10, 12 weeks, something like that. And they had engineers looking at it. They didn't really know. I know they ended up replacing some module. I couldn't tell you what the name of it was, some little module on it. And anyway, that was our one experience. All that to tell you about the story about me wanting to take the top off my Jeep. That was the one time we got to put the soft top on, and then never even got to take the top off of it. And every year since then, I'm like, this time of year when the weather's really nice outside, and I want to take the top off and drive around without it. And I always think about that trip. I still want to make that drive. Someday I'm going to take that drive with the top off of my Jeep and actually get to enjoy the salty air and all. But I guess that's one of those bucket list things, we want to do someday. So anyway, I'm sitting here this morning. I was trying to get a couple of videos uploaded because it's been, I think it says, what is today? Today is the 7th of April. And I believe the last day that a video went up was the 27th, I think, of March. Yeah. So what has that been, like 11 days that I haven't had a video? And here I wanted to do one once a week. But my video editor, I don't know if it's the editor. It has to be something in the editing software, because my videos, when I'm trying to compile them, they're real choppy, like almost like when you're watching a movie and it's buffering. It's kind of like that. And so I thought something was wrong with my video. But when I go back and just look at the raw video, and I'm just those on my phone, and I've put them on my laptop, they're running fine. There's nothing. It's only when I'm putting them into the software that edits them into the long video. I don't know what's wrong, and I don't know how to fix it. So that's what I've been sitting here doing. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know if I need to. I don't know. I don't know what I need to do. The only thing I can think is to completely start over, but I've got them half edited. It's a lot of work, and I don't want to start over, but I don't know what else to do to fix it. I'm going to sit here, and that's what I was coming in here to do. And I thought, well, I'll just sit and record while I'm talking to you. And then bunny trail, got off on another bunny trail. But I'm going to restart my computer and see if maybe there's something. I can't imagine that is it, but Jeremy always tells me when I'm having trouble with my computer, just restart it, that it can fix it. So that's what I'm doing. I just don't see how that's going to fix that little program, but maybe it will. I don't know. Maybe it has to dump all the memory or something. I don't know. I'm not sure what it's doing, but the other day, actually on that last video that I edited, on that one on the 27th, I had to start that one over a couple of times, and not start it over from the very beginning, but a lot, because it usually auto saves every few seconds or so. I think it's like 20 seconds or something like that. It auto saves. Well, the whole program just kept shutting down. And when I'd open it back up, not everything was saved. So I've been clicking save, really often. So I don't know if maybe there's just something wrong with this. I've checked to see if there's any updates. I've got it all updated. I don't know. I'm not. My computer has all of its updates, so I'm not sure. I mean, the only other thing I can do is just go in and try a different program, but I don't want to learn a new program. I don't want to go learn a new program, but I may have to, or I'm not going to have any choice, instead of sitting here griping about it. And I need to quit griping and just go figure it out. But we'll see. I just restarted it. Let's see if that works. But anyway, I don't know what you've got going on over there other than your doctor's appointment. Hopefully y'all have something to do, because it's just boring around here. So when I talked to you last night, I think that was last night. I see every time I get on here, I'm always saying that. Was that last night? And I really don't remember. I don't remember, the days just run together, but I think it was last night that I talked to you that y'all were, or yesterday afternoon, that y'all were watching 1923, and y'all were to the end of it. So I hope that one turned out good. We still haven't watched the second season, I guess, of it. We're going to watch it. I know we're going to watch it. So, but don't have anything else. Jeremy did have his surgery on his eye. I don't think I told you about that when we were on the phone, and he seems to be doing okay. It's really sore, but no issues. He drove himself home from that appointment. I was so worried about him, but Keely she was on standby, and he texted me and let me know when he left the doctor's office, and he did let me know as soon as he got home, because I was watching the clock thinking, if he doesn't call me, or let me know, and he did. He said he'd been home for a couple of minutes when he called, but he said he did fine, that it wasn't, but it's really sore, kind of itchy. He's trying really hard not to scratch it. So he's got him some eye drops in there, but he's not good about taking them. So, but he did good on that. So I think we'll see. I don't know when he goes. I don't think he told me when he goes in for his checkup, but it's usually about a week, or at least 3 or 4 days. I don't think he's going this week though. I don't remember him saying that he has another day off, because he'll have to take at least a couple hours off to come back home and go. But I'll have to find out for sure when that is. But seems like everything went okay. The birthday party went okay yesterday for Asher. That was pretty good. He's getting big. And I didn't get any video. I'm so bad. I know I've said that before too, that I'm so bad about that. And Alex was there, so all 3 of the kids were there. And all of Keely's kids were there, and Asher, but Alex was by himself. He didn't have the boys. They were all off doing other things. And Tabby wasn't there. It was just him. So, but at least I would have had my 3 there. So, but I didn't. I'm so bad. I have no excuse. I don't. I will get them, because I know you haven't seen them in a while, and I need to get them. So, but that's it. I'm determined to get those. I've got to get those avocados, my plants, in the dirt, in some soil. I still haven't done that, and I've got to get that. That is, I left them on my kitchen cabinet in there so that I have to stare at them every day, so that I'll get them done this week. I need to get them. I'm gonna lose them all if I don't. They're just not getting any nutrients in that, just in those little jars, and their roots are really big now. They're outgrowing those little bitty jars. I just have them in little bitty tiny jars. So I need to get that done, and that's it. Other than if the weather, which I really do think the weather's good, so I am going to get my few little plants that I have. I'll get them out in the garden this week. That garden needs some attention so bad. The weeds have just taken it over. If I don't get out there and do something, I'm going to have a really big mess on my hands. And which, I mean, they've all just now started budding out, but I definitely don't want them to stay out there long enough that they start dropping seed and I have even more out there than what I already have. So the guy that helps us with all the yard work, I guess, called Jeremy and asked if we had anything that we needed done. And so he was asking me, and I said, well, the only thing I can think of, and I said, I feel guilty asking him to do it, but if he wants to, I've got all that weeding and, all that cleanup and stuff out there around the garden. And he probably wouldn't care. He has a big garden at home too. I sent him last year a bunch of my sugar cane. I thought I had lost all of mine, but I have a couple of tiny little shoots, not anywhere near as many as I had last year, which is fine until I get a better way. I still want to try it again, but until I get a better way to process it, because what I had last year, that was way too much work for what I got. Hang on, I'll show you what I got. I don't remember if I showed you, but I'll show you. Okay, so I had a wagon full. I really don't even know. It was heavy. And we ended up putting it all in a large black trash bag to give to the guy that does our yard. And that was not counting what I processed. But it's so hard, and they use you basically kind of crush it or juice it, I guess, to get all the liquid out of the stalks. And some of them were good size, and then some of them were, kind of thin. But they use like an industrial crushing thing that juices it. And I've looked them up, and you can buy them, and they're not super expensive, but it would be something that I would need to do outside. It's not anything that I want to do in the house. It's big, and it's something I'd want to do outside, but I still really want to do it. But what I got in here, I don't know, I had a good sized pile of it. And what I was finally able to juice enough, I filled my Dutch oven. So, it's, about so deep, and, it's a good size Dutch oven. And it was full. I mean, to the point where it was almost boiling over. And you cook it and cook it and cook it. And I knew that I was going to lose a lot of liquid, but I figured I'd probably get roughly half, maybe a little less than half. So out of that entire Dutch oven that was full all the way to the top, almost boiling over, and then I think I had a little bit left over, like maybe a quart or so. And so when it cooked down, I added the rest of it to it. This is what it made. That's it. That is pure cane syrup right there. And it's good. It's really good. It definitely has that, the molasses taste and smell to it. But it's funny, it's not as strong as like Blackstrap. So, but there's definitely a taste there, but it's good. It is really good and sweet. Oh my gosh, it's super, super sweet. But it was a fun project. It really was. But I really want to do it again, and I want to learn how to process it down a little bit more than that. I say that, but what I really wanted was something that I knew was all natural, without any chemicals or anything, nothing strange in it to like sweeten teas and coffees and stuff like that. But it definitely has too much of a molasses flavor than what I would like in my coffee. Might honestly not be too bad in tea. I haven't tried it, but I know I wouldn't like it in my coffee. And I might not like it in my tea, I'm not sure. But anyway, it's really good. It would be really good to make some cookies or something out of, like in the fall, some kind of ginger something, what is that? Gingerbread, or I don't know, something. But anyway, it is really good. But all of that, and it took all day. You do it really slow. So it wasn't really like a huge boil. I just kind of simmered it all day and just really cook it. And you have to go skim off the top to get all the stuff on it. They said it would make it, and maybe mine is, because I know I missed it a couple of times. Maybe mine is still kind of cloudy. But I thought it turned out pretty good. It looked like a couple of videos that I saw, but there was one couple that I saw that theirs was very translucent. I mean, you could see through it. There was some color in it, but it was a lot lighter than mine. And maybe it was a different kind of sugarcane. I don't know. There's tons of different kinds out there, but anyway, all that just to show it is a lot of work to get. I mean, that's not even, well, I guess it's a little over half full there. So I guess it is a little over half full, about what, a third, something like that. But it is a lot of work to do that. But anyway, so when I pulled all that out, I wasn't intending to plant anything else out there, but the roots were still in the ground, and you can grow off the same roots for, I think they say, well, they'll just keep producing until the plant itself just dies off. But I think the videos that I saw were saying that about 3 years you want to replant, just so that you keep a really good stock of it going. But anyway, so I kind of figured some of it would come back, but then I didn't cover any of it back up. So it was just in whatever dirt, was out there, and some of them were kind of sticking up out of the ground. And then we got that freeze, for what, 3 days, 3 or 4 days, something like that. And a couple of them had little sprouts on it, and I didn't go cover it or anything like that. And I figured that I lost everything that was out there. But when I was out looking at the garlic, I don't know, a day or two ago, I've got 2 or 3 little spots where I've got little bitty sprigs of it coming back up. So some of it survived. So it'd be kind of cool if I got some, but I don't know that I'd do anything with it. I mean, I'd probably just cut it down and give it away or something. But until I get something better to process it, because I thought it was I finally chopped it up as small as I could get it. But I cut myself trying to do it. And that was when I finally just said, okay, I'm done. But I chopped it up as small as I could and put it in my blender. And that seemed to help. But then I had to strain and strain and strain. And it's real fibrous. And it clogged up my strainer over and over and over again. It was just definitely the wrong. You need something like that, whatever that crushing thing is that juices it. I mean, I guess that's really what it is a juicer, but it's just a really heavy duty industrial juicer. So, but it was fun. It was fun to do, and I'd do it again. But the rest of it, I need to pull out of there. And, well, I say that. I'll probably just leave it this year. Well, I know I will. I will just leave it this year and see what it does. And if the house sells, then somebody has some sugar cane out there. They can do whatever they want to with it. But I'll definitely buy some more if we move and try it again. But I am going to get out there and get my other plants in the ground. And now that I know the cold, or I'm pretty sure that the cold is pretty well past us, I'm going to go ahead and put... I got a few little snow peas that I want to put in the ground, and some cucumbers, and all those I just direct sow those. I don't start them in the inside. I've never had any issue with them coming up. Honestly, I don't have a whole lot of issue with direct sowing hardly anything. I mean, it'll come up. Where I have problems is with all the pests after they come up. Here, those little stink bugs, they're horrible here. And they really did a number on my tomatoes last year. And they got on my pumpkins too. I didn't know that they would do that, but they got on my pumpkins too. But I haven't done anything with the pumpkins that I grew last year. I still have several of them in there, and a couple of them have gotten soft, so I know I'm going to end up throwing them away. But the chickens like them. So, I'll just give them to them. Kind of, as long as they're not, bad. I don't want to make them sick either, but I'm going to do that. And I know you asked me if I'd ever looked up the loofah thing, and I still have not, to see if the loofah seeds are okay. I would assume that they're okay for them. Because if I'm not mistaken, it's a part of the gourd family. But I do need to look that up and see, because I don't want to make them sick for sure. They produce way too much for for me to do that. That's especially right now with the price of eggs and stuff. And people at work were talking about that the other day, talking about the price of eggs, and they're all doing, people are doing without, trying to figure out different ways. And I'm like, I am so overrun with eggs. I've given a lot of them away. As a matter of fact, the other day I was in here and I had 1 carton. That's all I had. I knew it wouldn't take long, and I think now I'm up to 3 or 4, I think, in there. And I haven't collected yet, so I'll get another. I'm getting about anywhere between 10 and 12 a day. So I've got plenty of eggs to give away. Oh, and I didn't even think to, when I saw Keely yesterday. Usually whenever I see her, I ask her if she needs eggs. And she'll usually tell me too, if she needs some, to bring her some. I could have taken each of the kids some and let everybody share in the joy. They've been pretty good. They're getting better. There for a while. In the very beginning, we were having trouble with the eggshells, that they were real brittle. And I'd been feeding making sure they had calcium and stuff out there. And I was even crushing up the eggshells and feeding them back to them. And, but we switched our feed to one it's called Scratch and More. I don't remember who the maker is of it, but when we went to the feed store, the lady was telling us one day, she said, yeah, that a lot of people, they had just some little tiny bags for just trial things. And so they gave us 2 of them, and she said that they had a lot of people that really liked them and said that their egg production had just skyrocketed when they switched to that. And so we just decided we'd try it. Well, they love it, for one. They eat everything in it. There's a couple of things in it that they don't really care for. But man, it has really changed the shells and everything. Haven't had any trouble with the real thin shells. Every now and then I get one that's real thin, but for the most part, they're all great. But what I was having problems with was the yolks. The yolks just seemed to be like I'd fry an egg, and I mean they would just break. And being super careful with them and everything, and I didn't have trouble with store-bought eggs. I was only having trouble with mine. And which, I mean, I say that I haven't bought store-bought eggs in quite a while, so I don't know, but I never had that trouble with them. I was only having it with these. And so I was actually wondering if it was because I don't refrigerate these. And so I did put a few in the fridge to get them cold to see if that made a difference. That didn't seem to make a difference either. But whatever it is has finally worked its way out. I don't know what the problem was, but the last few I've had, I think it's me now. I'm trying not, I've run out of my spray, and I'll probably still pick some up. Eggs is probably the only thing I use it on, because I just cannot, butter doesn't work. My tallow doesn't, I've been doing tallow the last couple of days, and I think I finally figured it out where it works better. I don't think I was letting my pan get hot enough, because originally I think I was letting it get too hot. So then I think I overcorrected the other way. But anyway, see, this is another long bunny trail that I've gotten on that's just boring about cooking eggs and whatever else I talked about. I don't even remember. But their eggs are doing much better. So, I can't think of anything else. My brain has finally gone blank. There's nothing going on up there. I've got just about 15 minutes or so, and I got to get out of here and head to work. So I guess I better wrap this up. This one may be a really long, rambly video. But anyway, I love you, and I will try my best to come back and do a video this evening, but I've pretty much told myself to quit saying that in videos, that I'll see you this afternoon, because here lately I either don't do one in the afternoons, or I miss the morning one, or whatever. I was on a roll there right in the beginning, doing a morning and evening one, telling you good morning and good night, and I've been bad about that, so I'm not going to promise that I'm doing that anymore, because I've broken my promise. So I'm sorry, but I'll get a video out at some point. And if I can figure out what's wrong with my editing thing, hopefully the reset has fixed that. But I'll figure something out, even if I have to go learn a new program to try something else and get these up. But otherwise, I will see you in the next video, hopefully tonight, but I'm not promising. But I love you, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. Hey, Mama. I hope you've had a good day. What is today? Monday. Today's Monday. Still Monday. I just got home. It is 8:43. I literally just walked in the door. Or 8:43. 5:43. I had to go by the store on my way home because we were out of the most important thing. We have actually cut way back on them, but it's a little bit of an addiction, I think. And we were saying the dogs are coughing. I don't know if you can hear that. I think it's Artie. I think he's got too excited. I don't know if you guys drink Cokes or not, but these are so hard to find. And we like them in the cans, But around here, they are not carrying Diet Pepsis in the cans. We actually think that they are trying to force everybody over to Pepsi Zero, which we don't like at all. I don't know if it's better for you or not, but we don't like it. We like Diet Pepsi. And we won't buy Coke because they went weird and I didn't want to give them any money. And so we stopped drinking Diet Cokes, and which in all honesty, we prefer Pepsi over Coke anyway. But we don't know what the deal is. There's a few restaurants that we've noticed that they'll carry Pepsi, but they don't carry Diet Pepsi. They'll carry Pepsi Zero. And we're like, it is a difference. And Jeremy notices when he drinks it, it affects his sugar. The Pepsi Zero affects his sugar where Diet Pepsis don't. So he doesn't like them either, but I don't care for the flavor of them. I do think they taste more like regular Pepsi than the Diet, but I think I've just gotten so used to the taste of Diet Pepsi. But anyway, they did not have any, again, I mean, they had stacks and stacks of every other kind of Pepsi and Diet Coke, but no Diet Pepsis in the cans, and they had 3 of these, and so I got all 3 that they had. That's it. And that's the way it always is. They'll put them on sale, and then you can't find them. They'll put them on like 3 for whatever or 4 for whatever, and you can find 1 package. So you don't get the deal. Anyway, it's really aggravating, but look what I found. So this is the brand of the beef bacon that I get here at Kroger, and we actually like the flavor of this one better. I like the flavor of it better than the Godshalls that y'all can get there in there at H-E-B. But this one is a little saltier. And Godshalls can be kind of salty too, but this is definitely saltier. But we still like it. Anyway, went in. They're usually $8.50, $8.99 a package, somewhere around there. They were on sale for $5.99 a package. So I picked up 12 of them. Jeremy said, "Why did you get them all?" And I said, "Because I feel guilty taking everything off the shelf." But I told him, I said, "I may go back tomorrow, and if there are any left, then I may pick up a few more just to stock up on them." Because, I mean, that's a great price. Anyway, I was excited to see that. So, go put those in the freezer. And I think we're going to I'm going to make chicken fajitas for dinner tonight. Jeremy's been watching his carbs, and I told him at lunch. So today, I told him I was going to do it with him today. And at lunch, I called him and I said, "I don't know about you, but I want a cake and some cookies and a piece of bread, and I wanted everything that had carbs in it." He just laughed at me. I didn't. I came home and had my hamburger patty. I made him a bunch of hamburger patties yesterday, and I had laid out the chicken fajitas to package up for him to take to work too. And I didn't get time to cook them, so I just put them in the fridge. So I told him I'd cook those tonight and then divvy up whatever. So I just cook the whole package, and then I'll divvy them up for lunches and stuff tomorrow or tonight after I'm done. Anyway, so on the way home tonight, he said something about me cooking all that meat, and I said, "Yeah, I'm going home to do that." And he said, "Well, are you going to have the tortilla and the all the stuff with it?" And I said, "I am." We're so bad. But here I complain about wanting to lose weight, but give me that dadgum taco and the cake and all that, which, I mean, in all honesty, we really don't eat a whole lot of sweets. But the bread and the tortillas and chips, those get us. So, anyway, what'd you do today? I hope you had a good one. You're probably sitting and watching shows. You probably Dr. Phil'd it up, and you're going to be able to diagnose all of us with all of our craziness. I don't know. He's one I just can't seem to watch. He irks me. Anyway, I guess I better get my dinner done. Jeremy left a little bit early, so he should be here in about, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes, something like that. So I don't have very long, and you can see my mess over there. I still haven't picked it up. That's actually from breakfast. I've been doing really good about cleaning up the house and picking everything up. And this morning I left 2 or 3 things out. It's really not a lot, but there's 2 or 3 things. I didn't make the bed, and I left my computer out in there on the table, and then this little, just this little bit of breakfast stuff. All the dishes are done and stuff. Well, except for that's on the cabinet, but we're on the stove. But I did pretty good. Artie's chasing his shadow. He's just turning around and around and around in circles. Let's see if I can show you. I don't know what he sees. Honestly, oh, I see. There is a bee or something, yeah, flying around outside the window, and it's casting a shadow on the floor. And he's chasing it. That goofy dog. His little tail's just... That's funny. I think it's a combination. I can see the bee casting a shadow, but then when he turns just right, his ears are casting another shadow. And he's jumping at his own ears. Anyway, they're funny. All right. I'm going to go cook dinner. And, before I go, I did at lunch check on Goldie, and she's fine. I didn't see any more evidence of anything even trying to get in the cage, so I have no idea what happened. But she's fine, and she's still got her, I'm assuming, the 2 little eggs. That's all she had left was 2 eggs that I put back under her. Hopefully that one wasn't out from under her too long. I don't know how long they can stay out from under the warmth before they die. I don't know, but the egg was cold when I moved it over, but it was cold outside, so I don't know how long it had been out. Anyway, we'll see. But the one was still warm, so apparently she was still sitting on it because they were quite a ways away from each other. She couldn't sit on them both. So hopefully we'll at least get one out of it. I hate to see her sit there for so long and not hatch at least one. And I know she'll be happy with just one because she was so funny with the last 2 that she hatched. And I mean, she just strutted around and thought it was just the best thing. And anyway, we lost one of them really early on. I just went out there one day and it was gone. They would get out from under the edge of that little pen. I think I have it all fixed where they can't get out. I hope. I hope I haven't missed a spot. But that's what happened, and I'm assuming, dog, cat, something. I never saw ours bring it in, and they're always so proud of all their treasures that they bring them in to us. So I think that if they got it, I would have found it. So I'm figuring a bird or a cat. We do have cats out here. We got a little black one that's been like kind of a black tabby kind of cat, and he's actually letting us get a little bit closer to him. He just runs the yard out here, and I even wondered if it was him that got in there, but I don't know. Or I say him. I haven't looked close enough to see if it is a boy or girl. But I was able to get pretty close to it today, and Stella came running and ran it off. So he didn't stick around too long, but he comes and lays on the front porch too. He just lays up there, and he gets up on the chairs and stuff. There's some cushions up there, and he'll get up there and lay on those. But I haven't been able to pet him or anything yet. I haven't bought any food, and I've said a couple of times I was just going to put some cat food out on the porch so that they'd come back and have something to eat, so they're not killing birds if that's what they're trying to do. So anyway, okay, now I have sat here and talked for I think it says 10 minutes and 40 something seconds. So I better shut up and start getting dinner done. So I will let you go, and I will try to come back tonight when I'm done, but before I go to bed. But I'm not promising. Still not promising. Anyway, if I don't, good night. If I do, I'll see you in a few minutes. All right.